All right, welcome to Youth Perspective on Independent Television. I am Joy Obaisiagbon, your host on this special program. You know, we always talk about societal matters and then we look at them from the youth perspective. And today is no different. Today we will be looking at a very, very critical topic, talking about, young adults marrying a virgin. Is that still a trend? And then also exes defaming each other after having to do a relationship with somebody and then you're talking down on that person. And also, the issue of people not wanting to flaunt their spouses, especially, dating. And I'll be doing this conversation today with my very beautiful guest, talking about barrister Patient Oduwari Asemuta. She is a successful lawyer. She's also an author, just like myself. Thank you so much, barrister, for joining us today.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you, Joy, for having me.
All right, let's quickly get into the conversation. Barrister Patient, talking about virginity, young adults getting to get married as a virgin. Is that still a trend? Do you think that, it is a form of, societal pressure? And how do you think, if it is actually a societal thing, like some kind of, pressure that the society, unknowingly put on, these young adults, to get married virgin? Do you think it's still a trend? And also, how do you think it actually affects the individuals involved in it? When you talk about, there are some families actually, you have to get married a virgin. Parents is actually a big deal, like a yardstick, especially from the guy's side of the family. So let's talk about it. What do you think about that?
Personally, this issue of virginity is something that we have to critically look at. This topic is very topical. It's very, very timely. And I'm so happy to be discussing it with you this evening.
My pleasure.
You see, when it comes to virginity, it's a personal thing. It's not something the society should impose on an individual, because virginity is not what determines a person's value or worth. What determines a person's value or worth is the person's character. There are people who are virgins who lack character. So like I said, it's my personal opinion, but I like people who are able to keep themselves as virgins till they get married. But it should be their personal decision, what they made up their mind to do, not what the society is imposing on them or what their family is imposing on them. So I see that as a form of discrimination. Because under the Constitution provides to the effect that nobody should be discriminated against on ground of sex, religion, and so on and so forth. So you saying somebody should be a virgin before the person, is qualified to get married to your brother is a form of discrimination. So families should take note of that. The girl in question can sue them for discriminating. I know this sounds very funny.
But persons are going to prison today.
Yes, because some people, Nigerians, they don't know their rights. So people just infringe on their rights and they just let it go, let it slide, because they are not even aware of those rights. So it's a form of discrimination. It should be something that is based on personal belief. If I want to get married as a virgin, it should be my personal decision, not somebody imposing it. Because come to look at it, the person who is imposing it, that a virgin should marry their son, let them ask their son, is their son a virgin? That's, sometimes they, because they place this, the burden much more on the woman. The man that is looking for a virgin to get married to, is he a virgin? So these are questions that we have to critically look at.
All right, we have to quickly, just come from that, virgin part, because we are actually heading towards the defamation part of it, especially exes having to defame themselves. Especially, after having a relationship with this person, now you've had sex with that person, right? And then the person is, looking to get married to another person. And then you find out that, oh, this person is getting, you find out the person that person is, your ex is getting married to. And then, I'm saying this because there's something I actually saw on social media recently. Someone posted their ex or rather someone posted, someone actually posted their spouse. They were going to get married. You know, like this engagement thing now. So the guy actually posted the girl like, oh, you guys meet
Wife to be.
my wife to be, things like that. And then someone commented under that post that, oh guy, why are you heading to? I've been there and I am back. So you see that kind of situation, probably because he has had sex with that girl. So should ladies are people that are actually in that situation right now, they're no longer a virgin, they've had exes, and now they're looking to get married. How do you think they can actually manage it when it comes to, their emotions, psychologically wise? How can people manage this kind of situation?
Yeah, this is a very, very, important question you just asked. This, the whole topic of today borders on morality, sexuality, and character, because these are issues that people somehow they shy away from discussing. You see, that you have dated somebody in the past, and the relationship didn't work, and the person now has found love in quotes and wants to get married. You don't need to start castigating and talking about the person, maligning the person because you want to score a point. This calls for emotional intelligence and discipline. Many men and women are, they are not intelligent when it comes to emotion. There's something they call emotional intelligence. You can be very intelligent in another way, and emotionally you are unintelligent, you are dull. So some of these boys you see, or you can, they will say age is just a number. So somebody can be 40 years old and have emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old. So these are things we need to look at. So that you have dated somebody in the past doesn't mean you start castigating the person. The marriage did not work, the relation did not work out. And so that person now has seen somebody that the relationship has worked, and so they are getting married. You should just be on your own, stay on your own, and look for your own love too. Because if the girl in question, like I told you now, is discrimination. And also in law, as a lawyer, I have to bring my lawyer
Of course,
legal view,
that's
say
valid.
from the legal view and the general perspective. Legally speaking, you can bring up an action in defamation. In defamation we have libel, we have slander. You can bring up an action in defamation because somebody just defamed your character.
Only if you have evidence, right?
If you have evidence. Like that evidence now, the screenshot of that conversation on Facebook, maybe, I don't know, the social media and the way it was put. That's an evidence in court. Because you can't just do that. People just do what they like because they feel nobody will ask them. But if people now know that when you do a particular thing, I'm sure people who are watching me now should be aware. When you have dated somebody and the marriage or the relation did not work out, go your way. Like I always tell people, toxic relationships are very dangerous. It is better to walk out of a toxic relationship or marriage to save your head and to save your life. So if that relationship did not work out and you go out, nobody should castigate you, nobody should malign your character, nobody should talk against you. It's a choice. Do you understand? So people should be allowed to live their life the way they like.
Like I asked before, people that are actually in this kind of situation, like, the example I gave just now on social media, in that kind of situation, how do you think that, let's say, obviously it was a lady that was in that position. How can she begin to come out of it? How can she build back her reputation?
Yeah, I will always say, it depends on the partner. The person she's into a relationship with, is somebody we need to really look at. Now, I want to choose a partner, and the person, nobody that doesn't have a past. We all have our own past. Our past, may not be pleasant. So everybody have their ugly pasts. And so the ability to manage ourselves, manage our past, is something that requires emotional intelligence. Do you understand? So that girl should know that her worth is not based on whether she has dated somebody in the past or not. Her value is not based on whether she has dated somebody in the past or not. Her value is based on her present character, her present person, her present sense of, her being, her well-being. So she should not look at what that person has said, because the truth is people will always talk. That girl should be lucky that, she saw it. There are people that are being castigated, who are talking against them that they are not even aware of. And so people are even, now looking at them because of what people are saying. So that she heard that or she saw that on social media, and should even make her happy that she has seen. And if I will advise that kind of person, if you are in a relationship, you should be able to open up. That's the truth. I believe in opening up, because if your partner would not accept you the way you are, that person is not worth you.
All right. That brings us to, the first quarter of this program. We're going to take a very short break right now, and then when we come back, we're going to dig deep into this topic. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is still Youth Perspective on Independent Television. And right here, we're talking about, exes defaming each other and people not wanting to flaunt their spouses, especially dating, because you don't know what will happen after the relationship breaks up. What next? Is this person going to be defaming my character or things like that? So right now, the question is, Barrister Oduwari, talking about communication, because you said something about communication, right? So if someone is to be in this particular situation, like the example that we gave earlier, now how can she effectively communicate? And let's look at it from another angle. If it is a man that is in this situation, how can he effectively communicate his past with his current spouse, especially when the girl is already hearing things outside? Well, how do you think, effective communication can actually be achieved?
Yeah, effective communication is very, very important in a relationship. In fact, it's the bedrock of every relationship. Communication is like the blood. As blood is to the human body, so is communication in a relationship or to a relationship. So communication is being transparent. Tell yourself, just be who you are. This is who I am. The truth is this: anyone who cannot accept you the way you are is not worth you. So if I am in a relationship and I tell my partner, this is who I am, this is my past, I've been through this, I've done this in the past, my past do not define me. So people feel that their past define them. No, your past do not define you. That is what you should know. So that I went through something in the past, or me, I have my past. So that I have such a past does not mean that that past is what is defining my future. So that person should know that our past do not define our future.
All right, moving forward, prioritizing healthy communication. Because talking about communication, like some persons will say that it is actually true that communication, it takes understanding to effectively communicate with somebody. If the person is not understanding you, and a situation where, you're already into that relationship, moving forward, looking into the future with this person, and a lot of things start, surfacing, exes coming here and there to say things about this, but how can this be managed? There are a lot of real life situations. Let's talk real life situations.
Yes. Like I think you were at my book launch.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you remember that person who talked, that bishop that talked.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you heard so many things that he said. The truth is this: maturity is very important in communication. You must be able to, communicate effectively with your partner. And then they will tell you communication is not complete until the message is passed. you can communicate, healthy communication can be in various ways. For example, know when to talk to your partner. Know the person's mood. There's a kind of mood somebody will be in, and when you say something, the person reacts. There's a kind of and also know the kind of partner you have. So if you know the kind of partner you have, you will know what to say, and you will know when to support and draw the line and say, oh, let me stop. Because if you don't, it may escalate and turn to what you don't expect. So I expect partners to communicate with each other. Effective communication is very important. Let the person know who you are. Let the person know what you are capable of doing. Let the person know that you are not also a saint. You have flaws. One thing that I think is causing this kind of thing in relationships, because maybe there's a kind of standard the person has placed the other partner, and so when the person notices some things that are not pleasant, the person begins to react. So these are issues we need to look at in a relationship and in communication.
All right, very quickly before we round up the program, can you briefly talk to us about your book? And then you're also a humanitarian as well. Talk to us about your foundation. When I saw Safe Haven, I'm like, oh wow, this is good.
Yes,
talk to us about it.
Thank you so much. And I wrote a book on surviving domestic violence, and I have 2 other books. Yeah. So we have Safe Haven Support Network. It's a non-governmental organization, non-profit making organization. It's for the rehabilitation and welfare of victims and survivors of gender-based violence, especially domestic violence, because these are issues that are very, very prevalent now in the society. You see one partner kills the other, so these are things we need to critically look at in our society. We don't need to be ashamed of, it anymore, or shy away from it anymore. So the essence of the Safe Haven Support Network is to make sure people break the silence. People, speak out and speak out loud, because we are ready to listen. Our ears are open to listen to victims and survivors. The essence of this non-governmental organization is to ensure that people are no longer marginalized. Victims and survivors are no longer marginalized. Let people be. Like I was referred to the book launch, you see the way people were saying, pray for him. So when you these are things we need to look at. The issue of religion, that's where the issue of religion comes in.
All right, very quickly, talking about defamation of character when it comes to exes defaming each other. So can you give us your final words? Because, when you talked about domestic violence, I'm like, okay, it is actually this, defamation of character, people having issues in the relationship, you're not getting to get over the issue. And then, it starts brewing and it gets to the marriage, and then my resort to domestic violence. So give us final words on defamation of character, especially in relationships, exes defaming each other.
Yeah, thank you very much. I see it as immaturity, gross. There's anything very high level of immaturity. You are done with a person. You are done. I'm talking from my own personal point of view, and I think that should be the mind of everybody, every matured person, that you are done with a person. Let the person go, let the person be. Do you understand? I said the reason why I wrote my book was to just let people know what the signs of domestic violence and that. You see, that book nobody was defamed. So just general point of view for everybody, for people to be aware of this kind of thing when it comes. So when you are done with an ex, let the person go. Let the person be. Stop. What I feel, is the cause is that I feel those exes, they are still attached emotionally to their past.
They've not moved on.
They've not moved on. Thank you. If you have moved on, what concerns you with your past? You are going ahead. You are just thinking of what next do I need to do to get to my next level, not past. So, like the Bible, let me just quote a place in the Bible now. I think Philippians 2, verse 15. The Bible says, he said, forgetting what is behind and pressing forward for the mark. There's a mark. There's a prize in front. So press forward towards the mark for the prize of, there's a prize, you know. So people should let their past go. Move on. You are better than what you used to be.
Like you've heard from our barrister, Patience Oduwari Asemola, let bygones be bygones. Forget about the past and move forward. And that brings us to the end of today's episode on Youth Perspective. I'm Joy Obaisiagbon. Thank you so much for always joining us on this program. Until we meet again next week, bye for now.